Hey everybody and welcome back. LEOPAZZO TV, that's a channel. Thanks very much for tuning in. You might be asking yourself, what am I looking at? A pile of rocks. Yes, you are looking at some armor stone right here that I piled up trying to coordinate some pieces on my new project. I'm trying to create a waterfall type, not really a pond, but just basically like a waterfall in the garden bed at the front of my house right here. So I came up with a little design, a little project. I've been thinking about it over the last week or so. I came to the landscaping supply place store here today. I've picked out some rocks here thoroughly to see that what's going to work best for me to build this waterfall. So here I am. I arrived back at my house. I'm out the front of the house here. You can see I already worked on some gardening last year and a couple of new flowers and whatnot from this year. So I'm just kind of getting ready to roll as the weather's getting a little bit better here. Just working on some projects outside of the house. You can see I have some of these bigger base boulders of the armor stone that are going to be going down first, and the ones that are on the grass will be going on after. So what I've done here is I'm using this Rubbermaid right here as a basin. I've dug out, I guess, an area that fits the basin perfectly, or not perfectly, but roughly, and I countersunk that into the soil, and I made sure that the basin was approximately like 2 inches, you can see, above grade here. I left the basin above the grass level to make sure that no water or soil that I didn't want to go into the basin would enter the basin and become all dirty and whatnot. So I wanted to make sure that I elevated that basin approximately 2 inches above grade. You'll also notice here, which I used for a base, which is an HPB, an high performance base, which I'm going to be using at the bottom of the armor stone for support. Since I didn't get much video footage of me actually building the waterfall itself and the whole behind the scenes of plumbing and everything, I wanted to draw it out for you guys so you guys have a little bit better idea. You can see here that I just drew out my basin reservoir that's sitting into the ground and is actually elevated approximately 2 inches above grading. I drilled a 1/2 inch hole, you can see there at the top in the middle, and I actually installed a submergible pump that I used to use for mixing up salt for my reef tank. Above that pump, I installed a valve. This valve is going to control the flow of the water of my waterfall. So again, pump, valve, through that 1/2 inch hole, up to the top of my waterfall, to that very top piece of rock, and then down the waterfall into my basin again. Pretty straightforward. Have the basin elevated 2 inches above the grading, install your pump, install your valve, and continue running your 1/2 inch hose up to your top of your waterfall so it can trickle back down into your basin. Well, after a little bit of work of moving these armor stones in position and fooling around with it to getting it into the right position and location and whatnot that fits best, this is basically what I came up with. I can obviously tell myself that it's not exactly the way I laid it out at the landscaping supply store, but I created a new look. Well, it's not really much different look. It's pretty much the same look that I created at the landscaping store. Just the rocks are just not in the exact same position, but for the most part, I got it to look the way I wanted it to look. Another thing I wanted to point out here, this top piece of rock here that you can see that the water's coming out, I actually just channeled out a 1/2 inch little channel, so the hose that I put inside there just kind of sits properly with the weight of the rock and doesn't really kind of move. I just channeled out a little groove underneath that top piece of rock there so that the hose and the rock just sits on top of it. So here we are looking at it the next day. I just turned this bad boy on. I'm thinking of maybe turning or having the pump on a timer where it's plugged into the house and the receptacle in the backyard there. I'm thinking maybe just have it on a timer between maybe 9 a.m. to maybe 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. A good 12-hour period. Something that I got to be concerned about, that I'm going to be monitoring, is the evaporation of the water that's going to possibly evaporate here through the basin. So I'm just going to be monitoring that over the 12-hour period or the 24-hour period and see how much water actually evaporates. So therefore I'll know how often I will have to top up this basin reservoir here, which holds my pump, and along with the valve that's shooting up the water to my waterfall. So guys, this is pretty much it. I just wanted to take you guys along the way. This is a project I haven't done before, and I just wanted to take you guys along the way and show you how I made it work for me. Thanks very much for tuning in. LEOPAZZO TV, guys. Until next time.